The story begins with Park Seung-ho battling with a mutated zombie. His breath was shallow, his body battered and bruised from days of desperate survival. The mutated zombie in front of him towered over him, its monstrous limbs crackling with raw electricity. Every step it took reverberated through the cracked concrete as its glowing eyes locked onto Seung-ho. Seung-ho, left with no food, no allies, he had nothing left but his will to survive. With a final grunt, Seung-ho harnessed the last remnants of his space power. His fist slammed into the zombie's chest, sending a wave of gravity that knocked it back. But the fight wasn't over, not in the way he expected. As the mutated zombie disintegrated into dust, a ripple of energy surged through the air. Seung-ho's vision blurred, his heartbeat sensed with a strange rhythm. Then came the voice gold, ancient and clear. New skill unlocked, time fragment, one use only. The system explains that this type of skill is a temporal type system skill. Rarity, mythical one-time unlockable. Unlocked after killing a high-tier mutated zombie alone while starving, exhausted, and with no companions. Trigger, survival against overwhelming odds while your strength is at its lowest point. Condition met. Hosts will to survive exceeded critical threshold. Synchronization with spacetime properties detected. The system further explains that you have exceeded your biological limits. Evolution recognized, unlocking sealed potential. Skill effect allows the user to rewind personal timeline by a maximum of 3 days before the apocalypse happens. Memories, skills, and mental state are retained. Physical body resets to that point in time. This is a one-time usability. Once activated, it cannot be undone. Seung-ho, with face battered and full of bruises after fighting the very strong mutated zombie, muttered to himself. 3 days before everything went to hell. He stumbled back, blood trailing from his lips, and watched as the last embers of the mutated zombie turned to ash. Then, in the silence, a faint chime echoed in his mind. Do you want to proceed, yes or no? Seung-ho's vision blurred, his hands, dirtied with blood and dust, hovered over the screen. He knew this was a miracle and a trap, but what did he have left to lose? Even time owes me a second chance, he whispered. He pressed yes. A ripple cracked across reality, wind reversed. Light bent inwards and then, Seung-ho, back in the past, opened his eyes, gasping that it was 3 days before the apocalypse. He is now in the middle of the city with a bustling street full of cars and crowded people. Something that he had been longing for some time already. Then remembers that this is the day that he is going to work. His face filled with happiness, tears almost falling from his eyes. He then inhaled the air. The stench of rotting flesh was gone. No more smoke in the air, no howls, no blood-slick streets. Seung-ho awoke in the past 3 days before the world fell apart. His heart thudded. He clenched his fist. Still strong, still lean, still level 10. Perfect, he muttered, his eyes scanning the peaceful skyline. No one knew what was coming, but he did. On top of the building, where Seung-ho stood like a sentinel watching over the city, he raised his fist and the air shimmered. A sudden pulse of violet energy cracked the stillness. Space leap activated. Directly beside him, a swirling violet vortex erupted into existence, oval-shaped, nearly 2 meters tall and just wide enough for one person to walk through. The vortex shimmered like liquid glass, layers of distorted space folding in on themselves, pulsing with gravitational force. This was no ordinary teleportation. The space leap skill allowed the user to instantly phase through space and reappear at any location within a 5-kilometer radius. The skill didn't bend time, but it folded space, temporarily creating a corridor through the dimensional plane. The vortex itself was a gateway visible for only a few seconds to others, but perfectly stable for him. With practice, Seung-ho had learned to fine-tune it. Short-range leaps under 500 meters required almost no effort and had a 2-second cooldown. Maximum range jumps up to 5 kilometers strained his body and caused a 10-second cooldown. Objects or people couldn't pass through unless he willed it. The vortex responded only to him. He took one step forward, the wind tugged at his jacket. His expression didn't change, and then, in a blink, his body dissolved into flickering violet light pulled into the portal like ink into water. The vortex collapsed behind him with a low hum, leaving only silence and an empty rooftop. In an instant, a violet energy flickers to life in the center of a lavish living room. A swirling vortex opens midair, glowing like a fractured door in reality, humming softly with power. From it, a figure steps through. It was Seung-ho. His boots land silently on polished marble. He scans the room, gold-plated frames on the walls, designer furniture arranged like a showroom. Imported snacks sit stacked on the counter untouched like trophies. Seung-ho cold and measured. This place, still exactly as I remember. Spoiled, showy, hollow, the luxury screams money. But beneath the surface, it's lifeless, lonely. Then a voice cuts the silence. Ji-yeon off-screen, groggy and annoyed. Sek, what the hell, Seung-ho? She enters from the hallway, stretching lazily in silk pajamas. Her eyes still fog with sleep until she sees him. The sneer arrives instantly, Ji-yeon mocking. Still creeping around, loser, how did you even get in here? Did you seriously break into my house? Get out or I'm calling the police. Seung-ho flat, you're coming with me. Seung-ho raises a hand. A soft hum fills the air, almost like a whisper of wind. Violet light blooms outward, twisting like smoke made of lightning. A vortex opens in the center of Ji-yeon's room, alive and pulsing. The air warps, Ji-yeon's expression freezes in shock. Her scream is cut short as the violet blur swallows her. The world twists, silence. They reappear in a place with no up, no down, only darkness, no walls, no gravity, no sound.
Ji-yeon tumbles through the darkness, weightless. Her hair floats around her like ink in water. She clutches at nothing. There's no ground to land on, no direction to run. Ji-yeon, breathless, voice trembling. Where am I? A faint shimmer moves in the distance. Seung-ho appears, calmly drifting through the void, eyes steady. He doesn't seem affected by the disorientation. He's been here before. Ji-yeon spins in place, slowly rotating, trying to orient herself. But there is no up, no down. Only endless black. Her chest tightens. She reaches out towards Seung-ho. Ji-yeon, strained. Seung-ho, what is this place? What did you do? He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he stretches out a hand, not to comfort, but to stabilize her movement, guiding her gently to face him. Seung-ho, calm, almost cold. This is a sealed pocket. a fragment of dimensional space. Time flows differently here. She blinks at him, disoriented. Her mind is trying to catch up. The air inside the void was weightless, still like the space between heartbeats. Ji-yeon shivered, her breath curling in front of her face despite the absence of cold. Sung-ho, coldly, "This is the space storage void. Here, time slows. 1 hour inside equals just 6 minutes outside. You'll be safe if you listen." His voice echoed unnaturally. The acoustics too perfect, like they were standing in the center of nothing. Ji-yeon, disbelief. "Time? What are you even saying? You can't just—" She took a step back. Her heel clicked against the smooth void floor. No dust, no shadow, just endless dark blue stretching into itself. No door, no escape. Her chest clenched, but the silence didn't lie. She couldn't scream loud enough to change it, couldn't cry loud enough to escape it, and in that terrifying stillness, the truth hit her. She looked up, trembling, breath caught in her throat. The man standing before her, he wasn't the shy, forgettable student from college. This Sung-ho had sharp eyes. Cold, calculating. His voice carried no rage, only certainty. He stood tall, calm, arms behind his back, as if nothing could touch him, not even her panic. "This is the space storage void," he said, voice as steady as steel. "Time slows here. 1 hour inside equals 6 minutes outside. You'll be safe if you listen." Ji-yeon froze. It wasn't just what he said, it was the way he said it. Like this wasn't a warning, it was an invitation to understand. And in that moment she realized she wasn't just trapped in a space, she was trapped in his world. And that's the end of this chapter. If you don't want to miss what happens next, make sure to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next one.